Hello everybody, welcome back to Zekism. Hope everything's going well where you are, and let's talk more Doomsday, shall we? Well, sort of, to a point, maybe, possibly. Let's talk about Doomsday. Let's talk about Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt has been promoting a new film, Mercy. It's an AI thriller, I think. The reviews haven't been brilliant for it, but nevertheless, we're not here to talk about Mercy. We're here to talk about Chris Pratt in general. He has been talking about Star-Lord, and he, first of all, says he would love to return. He's desperate to return, and he's pitched a great idea. Now, what could that idea be? And when are we going to next see Star-Lord? We remember, cast our minds back to 3 years ago nearly. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the last time we saw Peter Quill, Star-Lord, showing up, and there was a teaser at the end, right at the end of the end credits, where it said the legendary Star-Lord will return. And Chris Pratt a couple of times has said since we will make good on that promise, or we hope to make good on that promise, and here he is again, so it was doing a similar thing here. Chris Pratt has revealed he's pitched a effing great idea for the return of his Guardians of the Galaxy character, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, to the multiverse, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, declaring it is a really great idea. We go on. The 46-year-old actor has played the character in 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, as well as in Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Thor Love and Thunder. And his comeback was teased in a post-credit scene at the end of Guardians. I've just told you that. And Pratt revealed he's got a really strong vision for his next outing. During an appearance on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, which is a great podcast, by the way, he said, "I'm happy to do anything they want me to do, and will. And also, I personally have a really strong vision of what I would want him to do. And I think it's effing great." When asked if he's pitched the idea to Marvel Studios boss head Kevin Feige, Pratt replied, "Yep, and I think that, I'm down to contribute any way I can to them setting up the next 10 years of storytelling, And also, I have a pretty strong idea of how I would think I could contribute to that as well." Pratt went on to add he would love to work with his Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn again, adding that in a dream world it would somehow be James directing his next turn of Star-Lord, but obviously he's head of DC at the moment. But I don't think it's likely to happen, so I'd have to think about who would be the right director. There are amazing directors out there. Gunn is believed to be working on a Batman movie, Brave and the Bold, and they go on to say he sent photoshopped images of him as Batman to James Gunn, and he just replied with haha. So it's safe to say he thinks he's not going to be the new DCU Batman. I don't think that's a great shout for Chris Pratt anyway to be the next Batman. Just a wrong fit. We also have on the red carpet for Mercy, he did speculate or did contribute to the fact that he's hoping to return as Star-Lord and hopes they don't recast him.
What would it take? What would be the right thing for you to return to that character and to do something?
I will do anything they want me to do. And if they want me to be in anything, I'll do it. You heard it from me, and the time will be right. We promised that Star-Lord, the legendary Star-Lord, would make his return. I certainly hope they meant me. These characters live on forever, and there's been a lot of different Spider-Mans, hopefully it's me when he comes back, and he will come back. And when he comes back, it's going to be me.
I love that. We're manifesting.
So I think it's safe to say that he wants to return as Star-Lord, which I'm all for. I love Chris Pratt's Peter Quill portrayal. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best characters they've got, one of the most likable ones. And I'm glad they left it open for him to come back. Now, the likelihood is Doomsday is stacked. Absolute Avengers Doomsday has got such a huge cast. And they've already released, the Wakandas are in it, the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, or the New Avengers, whatever you call them, the Sam's Avengers, Falcon's Avengers, whatever you want to call them, Captain America's Avengers, and the X-Men, much, much more. So it doesn't really fit for Star-Lord to come into that. I haven't even talked about Spider-Man or any of the other omissions from that film. As well as Doctor Doom, taking up a lot of screen time. So Secret Wars makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it, for him to return? So I think the likelihood is that he shows up in Secret Wars. I hope that's not the last we see of Star-Lord either, Chris Pratt Star-Lord. I think he could be a mainstay for the next, like he said, 10 years. I would have him survive that, and I would have certainly a TV show involving him. That makes all the sense in the world to me. Legendary Star-Lord with him sort of, space travels in space. That'd be my pitch anyway. But I think that's probably high up on the cards. Yeah, it's a shame James Gunn can't be involved, but I think there's plenty of people that could execute a really good vision with that. I'm a big fan of the Daredevil and the Loki directors, Benson and Moorhead. But at the same time, it could be anything. Now, one of the reasons we may not have seen Chris Pratt, I mean, we've got to go into it a little bit, is a controversy, the online controversy that's been around the last 6 or 7 years involving him. And it's not really any controversy. I mean, you sort of look to it. I mean, what controversy involving him? Basically, the fact he's religious seems to be a real bugbear with the internet. The internet really doesn't like Chris Pratt. And I'm sort of scratching my head as to why. It's not really clear. There's one reason more than any. It seems to be that he's religious and he goes to church. Going into more detail, and I did do research for this, but that seemed to be what my perception was over the last few years. He made a Twitter post in 2022 about how grateful he was to have the healthy daughter, and people jumped on it saying he was being mean about his son from a previous marriage. And I thought, that's not exactly what he said, but that's an interpretation. Church Association, Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page, called out Pratt for attending Zoe Church, which has been associated with the Hillsong Church, an institution criticised for alleged anti-LGBTQ plus views, and Pratt denied that and says his church is his church denied that his church is anti-LGBTQ and stated it opens its doors to absolutely everyone. And seemingly it's a church that's attended by Justin Bieber and other celebrities that don't seem to be getting the same hate as him. We can speculate as to reasons why he might be targeting others, but whatever. He was voted the worst Chris meme in Hollywood, which seems harsh. He said RFK Jr. had some good ideas, or he was wonderful or something, and that again. So seemingly people think he's right wing, and that's why people go for him. I've said my piece about politics and entertainment before. I don't see a lot of Chris Pratt promoting his political views. And when you've been defended, and he has very recently, even last year, been defended by people like Mark Ruffalo, RFK, Robert Downey Jr. is what I meant to say. Yeah, of course RFK Jr. is defending him. No, Robert Downey Jr. is defending him as well, saying, back off, leave him alone. Zoe Saldana as well. Zoe Saldana, sorry. And, I think, keep politics out of entertainment. And I think, for the most part, Chris Pratt seemingly does that. This is going to be a defense of Chris Pratt, seemingly, but screw it, who cares? I don't see much to not like about him, to be honest with you. Who cares how people vote? I remember the good old days when people didn't care how you voted. It just, politics was just by the by. People got on with their lives and it was glorious. Well, politics wasn't the be-all and end-all. Now, seemingly, nowadays, it is everything. And it's so hate-driven. The fact it's infested everything from sports to entertainment to, cooking shows and just anything. Everything's got to be politically charged, and it's just so exhausting. We could say maybe Chris Pratt shouldn't promote his religious views. The fact he's a devout Christian or what have you, but other people do who are of different faiths. So I don't see the difference. It just seems like he's on a position where he can be poked at or he can be picked on. Anyway, regardless, we're here to talk about him in Marvel, but that might be one reason or several reasons as to why Marvel have hesitated bringing back Star-Lord till now. But I hope that's not the case. I hope they wouldn't be that small-minded, that a small community on the internet who may or may not like him because he may or may not be religious. Well, he is definitely religious, but I just think it's silly to demonize someone because they're religious. Imagine demonizing someone because of their religious beliefs. Go figure, right? And that's where the double standardness comes in. I just think, oh, come on. If he was posting anti-LGBTQ stuff or saying anti-anything stuff, I'd be all for it. I'd say yes, rightly condemn him, but why he seemingly can't come out as a devout Christian is beyond me. It's the world we live in at the moment, and I just think it's crazy. Back to Star-Lord. I hope we see him very soon. I think we probably will. Something tells me he's going to show up in Secret Wars. I think it makes all the sense in the world for everyone and everything that's left alive within Marvel folklore that's been Wesley Snipes' Blade. Everyone comes back for Secret Wars that hasn't died in Doomsday or before is going to show up in Secret Wars, in my opinion. We've got the Spider-Men coming back. We've got, oh god, Moon Knight, probably throw him in as well. Everyone's going to be there in Secret Wars. That's my theory. I think Marvel's just going to throw everything at the wall at that, which does include Star-Lord. Rant over. Apologies for that. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you a Chris Pratt fan? Do you think actually the day is done and they should replace the role, which is what he seemingly was, mooting at there? Or do you think he's not coming back at all? And do you think they should recast him? Do you think he's going to survive Secret Wars as I've advocated for? Let me know in the comment section below. Please leave a like and subscribe on the channel as well. That always helps things. We are doing quite well on the channel. I must admit, I'm blown away by the support of anyone that's watched or listened to anything I've done on the channel and maybe liked it. Appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. And I'll speak to you next time. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.